You ever have one of those mornings where you just step outside half awake thinking about nothing but your coffee and a quiet soak in the hot tub? You worked your tail off to upgrade only to find your entire reality hijacked by a squad of champagne-soaked women in glitter robes, all acting like your backyard is some luxury resort they paid for in advance. Yeah, that happened. I open the door, blink into the sun, and there they are, 6 women toasting like it's New Year's Eve, one of them waving her glass at me and yelling, "Cheers!" like I'm the hired help. And dead center, looking like the queen of glitter herself, is Karen from the HOA Tiara. Half-cocked music blasting so loud the birds were probably filing noise complaints. Before I could even rub the sleep out of my eyes, Karen yells over the music, "Don't worry, Nate. I figured you wouldn't mind, we're just shooting some wedding content." Like that explains anything. I just stood there, sandwich in one hand, Bluetooth speaker in the other, wondering if I'd walked into some alternate universe where property lines didn't mean squat and hot tubs came with a side of Instagram influencers. One woman had a ring light propped up on my patio table, another was splashing water everywhere, and the whole thing had this wild reality TV energy, except the prize was apparently my peace and quiet. Karen's got her crew lined up like backup dancers, gesturing at my hot tub, like Vanna White talking about how the HOA covers common access, and my fence isn't fully enclosed, so it blends into the shared lawn aesthetic. And to top it off, she's got Cheryl, the HOA president, and her personal yes woman giving her the unofficial green light. Before I can even process the madness, a bridesmaid shrieks, Is this pond stuff in here, Nate? Do you have any essential oils, like I'm running a damn spa?" I tried to keep it civil. Really did. "Karen, this is private property. You can't be here." Her smile drops for half a second before snapping back, and she goes, "Relax, Nate. We're all neighbors. We'll only be here a few hours. Besides, I'm on the executive board. I could cite you for obstruction of neighborhood harmony." And let me tell you, after years of her nitpicking fines and the general misery that comes with living under the rule of the world's pettiest HOA, something in me just snapped, but not in the way you might expect. I kept my voice cool as ice and said, "You're right. I won't be using it. The Lobsters will." She just laughed like I was making a joke. But in that moment, the plan practically built itself. See, a while back, I helped a friend run a marine biology project setting up portable tanks for crustaceans. Turns out with a few tweaks, a hot tub can host more than just tired backs, it can house a full-on lobster crew. I hit up my buddy Kiko, who's in seafood distribution, and shoot her a text. "Can I borrow some lobsters for science?" 5 seconds later, "Live or boiled me live. And make 'em big." Next morning, Karen's off getting her nails done, and I'm out back scrubbing down the tub, adjusting the temp, setting up oxygen stones, mesh partitions, the works. Kiko's crew drops off 25 of the meanest, moodiest lobsters I've ever seen. By afternoon, the tub looks ready for another bachelorette photo op, but under the bubbles, pure silent chaos, just waiting for a trigger. So I settle in camera system ready, coffee in hand, watching from the kitchen window while Karen texts, "We'll be over by 11 for the shoot. Hope the tub's ready." Oh, Karen, it's ready, all right. At exactly 11, she parades in with her floral boho, army of photographer who looks like he's regretting every decision he's ever made, and more props than a school play. They set up clinking glasses, giggling, trash-talking my backyard decor, none the wiser to what's waiting for them below the surface. They pose, they preen, and finally Karen slides one leg into the water like she's boarding Cleopatra's barge. Bridesmaids follow, shrieking, giggling, and then it happens. One jumps up, howling, "There's something in there." Another screams, clutching her foot, and suddenly there's chaos. Water splashing, champagne flying, and lobsters popping up to say hello. Karen tries to stand, slips, and lands right next to a lobster, waving a claw like it wants to dance. DJ table crashes, a mimosa goes flying, and one bridesmaid takes a nosedive into my flower bed. I step outside, coffee in hand, just as Karen's shrieking at her cameraman to stop filming. "Everything okay, Karen?" I ask, playing innocent. She's dripping mascara, running half mad, half terrified. "You sabotaged us. You weaponized your hot tub." I keep my tone even. "Karen, you and your friends weren't invited. In fact, you threatened me with HOA citations. Would you like to review the footage?" Now she's huffing about lawyers and emotional damage, but the bridesmaids are already scattering. One of them even mutters, "We told you not to do this here, Karen." Within 10 minutes, the police show up because, of course, she called them. I invite them back, pour some coffee, show them the footage, trespassing unauthorized party, and a close-up of the now famous lobsters. I even pull out my old aquaculture research permit, still valid, much to everyone's surprise. The officers can barely keep a straight face as they remind Karen that sitting voluntarily in someone's hot tub, lobsters or not, isn't exactly a crime, but trespassing sure is. She storms off, dignity in shreds, while the lobsters get another hour in the spotlight. The next day, though, I get an HOA violation on my door. Karen's greatest hits, $500 fine for unauthorized livestock and misuse of community decorum. I actually laughed. Pulled out the HOA bylaws, found a clause about educational aquatics, even dug up my neighbor's witness statements, seafood supplier documents, and for the cherry on top, Karen's own text bragging about her shoot. Compiled it all into a 22-page rebuttal that could have doubled as a legal thriller. Wednesday night, the board meeting is standing room only. Word of the lobster incident spread fast. Karen's up there, first dramatic as a soap star, waving her complaint and crying about trauma and property values, calling my hot tub a hazard to the community's image. When it's my turn, I just let the evidence speak: security footage, text receipts, board bylaws highlighted in neon. Frank, the board's resident grandpa, wakes up long enough to say, "Don't see any violation here. If anything, Karen owes him for the cleanup." Board votes fine rescinded. Karen gets a formal warning and the room cracks up as someone whispers lobster legend. The fallout is instant. Neighborhood blogger runs with the story, local Instagram fills with lobster memes, and Karen's wedding plans tank. Her fiancé, Derek, goes MIA. Vendors bail, bridal party vanishes, and suddenly Karen's not the neighborhood queen anymore, she's the cautionary tale. The hot tub becomes a sort of community symbol, and for a moment I almost feel bad for her almost. But Karen's not one to quit. 3 days of silence pass a record. Saturday night I catch her on my property again, heels sinking into my grass, staging a healing bridal photo shoot on what she claims is unzoned greenbelt. Her props and photographer spill over onto my lawn, and I've had enough. Call my old friend Miriam, the county zoning officer who, by the way, once dated Karen's brother and has zero time for her drama. She shows up clipboard ready, and within minutes, the shoot's shut down for at least 3 zoning violations. Karen's photographer packs up her helpers, grumble about not signing up for this, and within a quarter hour, the great healing ceremony is reduced to a pile of fake flowers and broken dreams. But wait, it gets wilder. That night, security alarm chimes. I check the feed, and there's Karen in full wedding dress, wrench in hand, trying to jimmy open my backyard power box. The panic alert triggers, floodlights blaze, sirens wail, and she bolts, veil caught on a bush, mascara streaming right into the arms of 2 arriving police cruisers. Neighborhood comes alive. Phones out, cameras rolling. Officers let her walk with a warning, barefoot, clutching her crumpled veil like a sad parade float. By midnight, my neighbors are dropping off victory cookies on my porch. Then comes the finale. Karen doubles down, blanketing the neighborhood with shimmery invites for a forgiveness brunch and healing ceremony in the community garden. I show up, sunglasses on, just to see what madness she's planning. Whole place is packed, neighbors buzzing, everyone waiting for the train wreck. Karen's speech is full of not-so-subtle digs about sabotage and fake narratives, until finally she tries to stage a symbolic wedding, dragging Derek up like a prop. Cue the plan. I step forward, hit play on a few choice clips of Karen's own words from my security footage, and drop the HOA's official ruling clearing me of any wrongdoing right into the crowd. Derek doesn't need another word. He bails right there in front of everyone, and the event collapses like a cake left out in the rain. Karen stands alone, wilted bouquet, neighbors whispering, and within a week she's gone, house sold, no farewell, no more drama. The weird thing, the whole neighborhood changes. People wave again. Cheryl resigns from the HOA for personal growth. Translation: she's sick of being a meme. I go back to my hot tub, now a symbol of survival, and every soak reminds me sometimes the best revenge is legal, clever, and just a little bit petty. And yeah, maybe it involves 25 crustaceans and a wedding that'll be whispered about for years. So what do you think? Was I in the right, or did I take it too far? Would you have done the same, or is there such a thing as too much payback when it comes to HOA Karens and private property? Drop your take below. Let's hear how you'd handle lobster justice in your backyard.